When I was a child, I didn't decide to be a monk. My father sent me here. But as I grow up, then I became to understand what is being a monk. So I think I'm on the right path, you know. I'm on the right path, and I'm thankful for my father that he did so.
When I was very young, when I see like other monks who came in our village, so I feel like very grateful to see them. And after that, my parents sent me here.
The family brings their children to be a monk because the families are a Buddhist. We always wish one of our family members to be a monk. The second option is that matters the family's financial status. Those who cannot provide a good education to the children, and they cannot take their children in a better life, so they have an opportunity to send them to a school which is free of cost.
I established Siddhartha Foundation in 2004, and then I try to bring more and more poor families' sons. So far we did our best, and many students after they finished, they went back to their families. And now we have more than 80 boy lama. So we provide them food, and then educations and medical treatments, all expenses.
We used to publicize every year to the Himalayan regions, to the different parts of the village for new children. First 3 months will be our probation period for the children. We really look them how they sit with the other lamas, how they are going to like other lamas, how they observe the life of monk. If after 3 months the children is still wanting to be a monk, if they like the monk's activity, the monk's life, then we enroll in our school. Otherwise we reject, because in every religion there's no any force. The monastery gives to children a life of Dharma. Dharma is a spiritual path that you can follow. The most ultimate objective is to educate Dharma and the modern subjects, and to make the children an educated, literate person.
We have class 1 to class 9, and we teach them about ritual practice according to the Buddhism. Also, we try to teach them English, because English is international communication language.
We are receiving the volunteers since few years, and I think this is a very good opportunity for our school and for our children to learn more about English and to interact more about the Western peoples, which they are not used to.
My name is Monica, I'm from Bulgaria, and I came here to participate in a volunteer program where we're teaching little Nepali monks in English. How we do it, it's our choice, so we're trying to organize some games for them or to teach them some practical phrases. So it's more like conversational English that we're teaching them.
Learning English from teachers from our same country is good, but not excellent. But learning from the volunteers, they come from foreign, are really good, because the way they talk, we can catch the way they talk and the way they teach and everything they do. It's really nice.
Write a sentence. Welcome. I've always wanted to do some volunteer work, and I really think that it's good if you can pass your knowledge to someone else. So this is really what makes it meaningful. So that's why I came. I like it a lot, but I think I like it because I like little kids, and the monks are so cute and so nice, and they behave so well in class. It's nothing to do with the kids in our countries. We used a permanent marker, so now we cannot take it off the board. They're very well disciplined, but after all they're kids, so very often they're shouting or everyone's talking at the same time and it's getting really noisy. They do little stupid things all the time and they make me laugh. But they're very good kids and they definitely respect the teacher. Maybe not themselves so often, like if something is wrong, one would just hit the other on the head or would just kick him, and that's just so normal, but I think it's just because they're kids. When we arrived, I definitely found it a bit strange and it was a culture shock for me, but now I'm more used to it, so it's difficult to say what was the most shocking thing in the beginning. But pretty much everything. The way they eat, the way they play, what they study. The scars they have on their heads, on their face because they're fighting and climbing all the time, and on the back of their heads because they're shaving every month. The first time I saw it, I thought that something really bad happened to this kid, and then I look at the other, and the other one was the same, and then I look at the third one. So everybody, all of them, they had so many scars, but actually here nobody cares about that.
Good morning, sir.
You cannot say, I play jump. It's not, jump is not a game.
At the first place when we came, I was not so sure if it's really working or not, because after all we teach them in English, and especially my group, they're the little ones, so they don't speak almost no English, so it was really difficult for them to understand me and for me to understand them. There are definitely some times when I say, okay, that's not going anywhere, but actually, surprisingly enough, the next day when I walk in the room, I just ask them the question from yesterday and they just answer. So after all, I think something really stays in their heads. It's just that the whole teaching process and learning process takes some time. Here in the monastery, they're quite like living in a community, so they're not really going outside of the monastery so often. So I think it's very useful for them to see a Western person to communicate, and I really think that at least they enjoy through English, so I hope some of the things we're teaching will stay in their minds and it will make a difference.
Our exam happens 2 times a year. It included language subjects, and our major concern subjects are the Buddhist philosophical subjects. They have to work so hard in the whole years. It's not like our lay people, like you and me. So they have more obligations to follow and more rules to follow, and they have so many boundaries to concern.
As I said already, they're very well disciplined, and that's great, but actually I think that maybe they're missing some part of their childhood. Here there are no toys, for instance. When I tried to teach them the word toy in English, I found it really difficult to explain what it is because they have no toys. When we came here, they told us that it's absolutely up to us how we're gonna teach them. And they said if we want we can follow the textbook, but I don't think that's the way to teach them, because after all, I think they see in us a way to entertain themselves. For me, it was very important to make the teaching process more entertaining for them, and like to make them get involved in the whole process. I'm trying to organize some games. When we were teaching the animals, I was making funny noises to make them understand what the animal is. Not because I can just open the textbook and show them the picture, but I think they enjoy more if it's a funny way. And it's just great to see that everyone is so interested, that everyone is participating. That's really what brings me joy, what makes me happy.
Buddhist philosophy is all about related to our inner heart.
We do puja for all the human beings and sentient beings to live happy.
The puja is our spiritual contributions to our God. There is numerous kinds of pujas. Puja for well-beings, to stop the famine, to stop the obstacles, and to stop the natural calamity, to stop the natural disasters, and puja for long life. They read the Buddhist text and they perform a clarinet and drum and Tibetan horns. In the monastery, we perform chanting puja every morning and evenings. That is called solga. Every day, the human needs 3 times meal. Otherwise, the human cannot survive. So this is also a tradition for the God. The puja means always our offering, not for ourselves, but for the welfares of all the sentient beings. Why we want to monk perform for us puja? That's the question. Yeah, you yourself can read the text also. And I myself, I can also read the text. But why we want always that the monks can perform puja for us? Because monks have so many rules and obligations to follow. Their life is somehow a committed life, not independent like lay people like us. The person whose life is more spiritually connected and more committed to the God, they have more merits. Their prayer are more powerful or recognized. But if the same mistakes done by the both same people, then the monks can have a major non-virtue. Monks' life is very, very tough life.
Monks have to wake up early in the morning at 5 o'clock, and then we start our day by doing a little puja. Then we have breakfast. And after we take a break of half hours, and then we start our class. We regularly read the scriptures, the Buddhist philosophy scriptures. And then after lunch, then we study the modern language. And at 3 o'clock, we have tea, as all the people do. And then we do the puja. Then we have our dinner at 6 o'clock, and then we have a night class. And then after that, we do self-study in our room. And then at 9 o'clock or 10, we go to bed.
I definitely found it strange when we arrived. It's just a room where you have a whiteboard and that's it. And usually the monks are bringing with themselves like some sort of carpets, I would say, where they sit. Actually, the classrooms for me, when I organize games, are good because I really definitely have more space. But in general, it's not good because when they're sitting on the floor, they're bending themselves too much, so I don't think that's very good for them. I'm not quite sure if it's only financial problem or maybe cultural problem. I think they can definitely study more about the world outside of the monastery. Because everything here is so focused into Tibetan pujas, so they don't really study geography, they don't study history, they don't study physics, and I think it's important to know these things. Maybe not to go so deeper as we do in the Western educational system, but they definitely need to know more, absolutely. Even maths they're missing. Like yesterday I was doing some exercises with my monks, just very, very basic stuff, and it was very difficult for them. And mathematics is the basics of everything. Whatever they want to do from now on, I'm sure English is gonna be useful for them. Even if they want to check for some information, English is the easiest way. Also here it's very popular that the people who are dealing with volunteer work or people who are donating money, they're usually Western people, so this is another way that English can help them.
Still, we don't have our own school. We're still renting this space.
This is from China. I found that they need a school. That is why we talk about to build a new school in somewhere. That is why this time we come is we visit a new place to see how they start. I'm a manufacturer for the garment, so I make money. I found money cannot make you happy, but money only make you secure. You want to make yourself inside happy. You should support people. When you see, just now you distributed the candy, this everything, the kids, the eyes, they look at you. This is, you cannot buy it, you cannot, they pay back this by feeling wise. When you see they grow, then develop their success, and this kind of feeling, then they send you email, say thank you. Amazing. That is why, I come here and look at them, and then 2 years later, 4 years later, I know where they go, how they develop, how they success. This feeling back make you happy.
For me, this way of volunteering is definitely a good choice. It's good to come here to pay some attention to the monks, to give them knowledge, to show them more about the world outside. On the other hand, they obviously need a lot of money because these are very basic and poor conditions that needs to be improved. And the easiest way is to seek for money from Western countries. Come on! Yeah, they really seem happy. I think it's great to feel happy. It's a bit sad from my point of view that they don't have the chance to see so many other things, and when I try to explain them what is cinema or what is popcorn, they look at me and they have no idea what I'm talking about. And this time it's not because of the language barrier, it's because they really have no idea what I'm talking about. So sometimes I feel a bit sad that their horizons are limited. On the other hand, the very basic of being a Buddhist is being happy, so at least they're happy, this is what I can say.